Hello again, everyone. Today I wanted to show you my collection of handmade watercolors. These are not watercolors that I have handmade, but that other makers have handmade and that I have put into palettes. So this is where I'm keeping them all, in this Delphonics pouch. This is a small Delphonics pouch, I believe, and I've kind of covered it with all these different pins that I've collected from here and there. And I'm going to go ahead and get into the inside, and then I'm going to put the pouch aside. So I have 3 different palettes in here, and I'm not going to do any swatching today, but you will be able to see the swatches that I have here on the pieces of paper that I have with them. And if you're interested in more full swatches of all of these different handmade colors, just let me know and I will cue that up. All right, so let's go ahead and go from largest to smallest here. And this one has the majority of my handmade watercolors. I have a little rubber band around this. It is a container that I got off of Amazon. I'll put a link to the particular palette below. It came filled with half pans, and I think it came with magnets too to put the half pans in here because the tin itself is magnetic. So this has a tin top that is completely removable here, and then this did not come in the original pan. I put some whiteboard sticker here on the top, and I just covered most of the bottom, and this has worked pretty well. I've actually used it already. A lot of these handmade colors are not very staining, and I do want to use these more. I feel like I've been a little precious with them, and I just want to go ahead and start using them more. I've really just used them to kind of test them out at this point. Okay. So as you'll see from my little swatch, the bulk of my handmade colors are from a company called Greenleaf and Blueberry. I will put a link to their shop below. They are located in Colorado, and I did actually take a class with the person who makes these watercolors when she was offering one in Boulder, which is roughly an hour away from Denver, where I live. And I thought her class was a little basic for me. I felt like I didn't really learn a whole lot in the class because I knew a lot of the basics. But if you're ever able to take a class with her, when all this coronavirus crazy stuff is over, I would only do that if you are a true beginner. And you do get some of her watercolors as part of the class, which is why I have as many as I do. But I think if you know a little bit about watercoloring, it's really not worth it. I would go for the Jane Blundell class. They're definitely a lot better. But the watercolors that they make are really amazing. And they have super highly pigmented natural colors, as you'll see. I'm going to go on here. So the next one that I have a few by is Letter Sparrow, and I think I actually have a few more by Letter Sparrow in these other tins, I think. This might be it because I have a couple of not portable art toolkit palettes with Letter Sparrow paints in them, and they're just gorgeous. I'll probably show those on a different video. This is sort of my main stash of handmade paints. And then here I have paints from Pfeiffer Art Supply. I believe that's the full name. They are on Etsy, and I will put a link below. And I'll also put a link to the Letter Sparrow shop. She has her own website, as does Greenleaf and Blueberry. So those are the only 3 brands that I have in here. And I will show you. My magnets are sticking to that other container. So as you can see, they're very, very filled. The Greenleaf and Blueberry, they always fill their pans to the absolute max and beyond. And I have one little color that is in a shell. It's kind of shoved down in here, so I can't really take it out for you to see. But it is a little seashell with a magnet on the bottom, and it has less color. But sometimes if you want to just try out a color, and she has them in these little seashells, it's less both in amount and cost, so that's a way to kind of try some out. This one came with her class that I took because she gave us a little palette in something like this, and it didn't have a yellow in it, so she gave us a supplemental yellow. And so we have Mayan Blue number 2. We have Côte d'Azur. We have Yellow Ochre, which I totally messed up on my little palette sheet here, but you can see. Let me get in a little bit more so you can see this sheet. And then here we have Magnetite, which is actually really kind of cool. And I might do a video just on that one, because if you actually put a magnet under the paper after you've put this on the paper, you can move around the pigment with a magnet. It's really kind of cool. So it is actually a magnetic pigment. This is Mayan Blue. So there's 2 Mayan Blues, 1 and 2 here. This is Violet Hematite, Orange Ochre. This is Shungite. This is Mayan Blue number 3. So there's actually 3 Mayan Blues. This is Mayan Violet, Brown Ochre. And you can see that the colors in the pans are very different from what you see here. Oh, I'm sorry. No, that's right. That's right. That's Brown Ochre. And then this one is Graphite, which is really kind of nice for sketching. I've used this probably more than the others, and you can't really tell because you don't need a lot of all of these. They're very highly pigmented. So even though there's only some small amounts missing from these, I've actually used them more than it would indicate. The next one is Celadonite. The next one is Mayan Red, Pipestone. And then we have Slate, which is kind of similar to Graphite, but it has some white in it. This one is Malachite, which is really beautiful. This is Vivianite, Castle Earth, Barite White, and Eggshell. Oops, there you go, and Eggshell. And then I'll go on to the Letter Sparrow paints. And all of these handmade paints have different textures, I would say. The green leaf and blueberry are all very granulating and have sort of a more granular texture generally. And when you in a finished piece, you can kind of feel the grit on the page, which I don't mind. But if you were going to have it, if you're going to be passing around your painting, it could get rubbed off. So that's something to keep in mind. In contrast, the Letter Sparrow are always incredibly smooth and beautiful to paint with. They do have granulating colors, but they're much more smooth overall. And so I have to turn it this way because that's the way they appear. So this is Black Currant, Apricot, Pistachio, Venetian Red, Purple Ochre, and Raw Umber. And this was part of a set that I got, and I can't remember what the name of the set was, but it's mostly earth colors. And then these Pfeiffer colors, these are also very smooth. These are the only ones, the green leaf and blueberry ones are the only ones that are super granulating, or super granular in texture, I should say. And these are very smooth and lovely, and this was part of what the maker calls a watch kit. And all of her colors are named after birds. So this was Nightingale, Kingfisher, Goldfinch, Toady, Rosefinch, and Starling. And they're all really beautiful. I really love all of the colors. So I'm going to go ahead and close that up here. Let me put this the right way around. And this little tin from Amazon is fine. My only issue is some of the enamel on the outside has worn off a little bit, but it holds these really well. And as you can see, it holds quite a few pans, and that's with a magnet on the bottom. A pretty substantial magnet on the bottom, so it still fits in there. So that's those. This one is sort of a hodgepodge of remaining colors that I used to have elsewhere, and now I've put together here. Let's see if I can kind of identify where things are. So I have some duplicates of the green leaf and blueberry in here, because when I got my set as part of her class, there was some duplicates with the ones that I already had. These 4 here are from a company called Dark Bee. They're also on Etsy. I'll go ahead and put a link below. And then the others here down in this row are by a company called Jasper Stardust. And these are really beautiful. I would say these are probably the most similar to green leaf and blueberry, in their texture, because they do have a little bit of a gritty texture. And so, but not this indigo. That indigo was actually a core paint that I took out of here. This is mostly overflow, but I would like to put these Dark Bee and Jasper Stardust kind of in their own little palette, because they are really pretty colors. So here, again, we have Celadonite, Violet, Hematite, Castle Earth, Graphite, and Eggshell. And then for the Dark Bee, this is called Tangerine, Petal, Sangria, and Sweet. They were all sort of a peachy, rosy tone set of 4. For Jasper Stardust, so this big one here is Lapis, which is a very beautiful blue. And then this one here is Smalt, which is, I'm not sure if this is made out of that, but Smalt used to be just ground blue glass, very finely ground. So you can see it's very granulating. And then here we have Malachite, Sap Green, Dark Yellow Lake, Carnation, Dark Carnation, and then I have 2 extra. Let's see. So this, maybe the indigo is theirs. Yeah, that is indigo. So that's this one. And then this is Lace. Okay, sorry about the confusion there. That's one of the palettes that I've kind of had to piece together there from where I had it before. And then in here is another collection of other paints. I think it's just a couple of makers in here. So I have some paints here by Wild Thorn, and I'll put a link to their website down below. And they are not named, so this was sort of a neutral earthy tone palette with a lovely gold, and actually some of it stuck to the top of the wrapper, so that's why I still have this in here. I'll just let you see the samples there. It looks like I have a little bit of paint on my thumbnail. And this dark bluish indigo color is just amazingly beautiful. And then over here, these are from a brand called Arthesis, I think. Don't quote me on that. But this particular shop is on Etsy, and this is the Coastal set. So they're all sort of sandy and sky color and ocean colors. So they're actually a little bit out of order here, but I'll try and figure it out. So we have Sea Salt Gray, Sand Dune Titanium Buff, Lemongrass Light Yellow Ochre. Then we have Cord Grass Natural Green. Oh no, I'm sorry, that is Driftwood Natural Umber, which is down here. This is the Cord Grass Natural Green. This one is the Breeze Light Blue. This is Horizon Blue, and then this one is Dust Earth Mineral. So you can kind of see there. And like I said, if you'd like me to do larger swatches of all of these, just let me know, and I will do that. Okay, so I think that's it. The only other handmade paints that I have are just one-offs, and then like I said, some art toolkits by Letter Sparrow that has paints all by Letter Sparrow. I think I have 2 of those. One where it's sort of a complete set of their colors, and then another that was a curated set. I think the theme was flowers or something like that. But I just wanted to show you how I'm keeping them, and I will put them back in, as usual, everything has dog fur on it. So I'm going to put those back in their little Delphonics case, and I actually have a few Delphonics cases that I keep different watercolor sets in, and then I also keep some of them in Chic Sparrow pouches. So I have that too. I used to have these in a Chic Sparrow pouch, and then I ended up switching them to this one just because they don't have a bad smell, but it's just a little bit like it smells kind of like dirt. So I didn't want that smell building up in my leather, which is why I put it in this Delphonics pouch. And I don't really have anything other than maybe some additional buttons or something in any of these pockets here. But I could, I just haven't done that. All right, but I think that's it for today. Feel free to subscribe so you can keep track of future videos. Feel free to give this video a thumbs up if you liked it, and I will see you next time. Thanks so much for watching. Bye.